Hit it again. Louder. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to MLUC's 2025 Annual Congregational Meeting. Yes. So we have a full agenda, so without further ado, the meeting is now called to order. Under our bylaws, and I know you really care about this, it's actually Article 4, Section 6, we need a quorum of 60 members assembled, including absentee ballots, and we have that quorum. So without further ado, we'll proceed to our first order of business, the Senior Minister's Report, which will be presented by our own Reverend Dr. John Morehouse, who is Senior Minister of our Developmental Ministry.
Well, thank you, Gail. So I'm entering my third year with you, and it seems like just yesterday that we met each other in a beautiful April weekend. It's so great to be here, and such a pleasure to serve such a fabulous congregation. I want to begin my remarks by thanking our incredible Board of Trustees, and especially our President, Barbara Colton. I think she deserves I will direct your attention to the annual report, which you've received online, and I know you all faithfully have downloaded and read every single word. I want you to do that because Bill D'Agostino spent a lot of time on that. And it's a beautiful report, and it's a wonderful thing that we've started up again after not having an annual report for many years. So it's good to be able to take stock of where we are, and I'll just touch on a few highlights. We've made tremendous progress with our developmental goals, and I'll hold up three in particular and say just a word or two about those. Shared ministry, which we talked about last year, I think has been our most successful goal achieved so far. We really have a great understanding between leadership at all levels, between myself, the board, the staff, myself, and the board, and all our volunteers. We're really talking to each other. And you know, it's a surprising thing that happens when you talk to one another. You actually have less conflict. Strange how that works, but it's one of the reasons why we do it, and also because it's just in line with who we are and our values as Unitarian Universalists. We've made significant improvements in our growth systems this year, our membership systems. I want to thank Deidre Gordon for all her hard work. Deidre, are you in the room? There you are. And an amazing group of volunteers who've been welcoming people at the front kiosk there when they walk in the door, which some days is just overwhelming. There's so many people coming at us, which is a very good thing. And I think that, of course, is the result of course, a lot of this is, that's why. The mystery man. We've done a lot, and it's showing. I'm sure the political environment has something to do with our resurgence in growth, but it's not all that. A lot of people are hearing about us and bringing their friends, which, by the way, is the #1 way that congregations grow. You tell your friends. That's how Christianity got started, by the way, in case you're wondering. It wasn't Jesus making an infomercial. It was people talking to people, and that's how we make things happen. And we've got young families coming in. We see more kids than ever, and a diversity of other kinds of folks, which we definitely have to have if we're going to grow in the way that we want to. And our public presence was not a high priority in the second year, more for my third year here, but we have done a lot to be out in the community, and we were 2 big Pride events, and we are very active now in the interfaith community, some new developments there. I think that will increase as time goes by, and we get a little more sense of who we are, and I know Barbara's going to talk a little bit more about that, particularly focusing on 2 big justice outreach efforts, our environmental justice this spring, and the dealing with housing insecurity in the fall, which will be very important for us as we move forward. I want to say that we're up to full staffing level, which is a big accomplishment for us as a congregation. Yeah, we should applaud that. That's actually a big deal. There was a time when I would walk into the office suite and there'd be more doors without names on them than doors that had names on them. That's all changed, and it's because we have such a great staff, in part because we have such a great staff, that we've been able to see the growth, not only in numbers, but the growth in programming and the growth in spirit that you've seen here. I want to hold up and thank Jay Wiley, our media manager, for many years of hard work. He's retiring this month. Thank you, Jay. It's no easy thing to keep all the sound and the slides going and, you know, all that sort of stuff. So it's a big job, and I know he's surrounded with wonderful volunteers, and I won't name them all, but you see them hovering back there on the tech deck. And Sam Levine has been our sound engineer this year and is now acting media manager, and we're very glad to have Sam in that role. And moving forward with a new program, we'll see what happens next. It's very exciting. Thank you. Griselda's not here today, but if you see Griselda, you are. I don't have my glasses on. Where are you, Griselda? There she is! We don't get anything done without Griselda, so let's just keep that in mind. I keep that in mind all the time. I always ask her when we meet each week, are you happy? Is there anything I can do? She's done an amazing job picking up in rearranging some staffing and really running the business of the church, and doing it all with a smile and greeting people as they walk in, and it's just amazing. Griselda, thank you so much. Thank you. And David Brown, our music director, what can I say? I don't know. I mean, who'd have thunk it, right? Now we're on the chancel and we're swinging and we're doing different kinds of music. And today was another side of you as a teacher and a mentor for Colton. And I think that's the sort of thing that we need a lot more of. And you're seeing different kinds of music. And David has come a long way from when we hired him a year or two ago to where he is now. And he's an incredible music director. And we really are fortunate to have him. I want to thank Dawn Starr because she's been doing some amazing work. We've been pivoting still. I think there's still a little bit of a recovery from the pandemic, and I think we made a big difference in more kids than ever, more things happening. We've got a new adult faith formation team off the ground. We're beginning to get some new programming going there. She's also in charge of the small groups. It's a big job with many facets, and she holds the institutional memory and the staff for everything that's gone on in the past, including things we didn't do so well in the past that we're trying to do better now. And I thank Dawn Starr for reminding me of that often. In a good way, in a good way. And new this year is Bill D'Agostino, our communications manager. Bill? It's one of the reasons we're growing again, and I just did a reel. It's on the big screen when you walk out. Love at the center. Man, I want to go to this church. It's just amazing. It's beautiful. So the work, the quality of the work, the connections he's making, it's a huge job, and he dove into it and has really come up. And we're happy to announce that we have a new website that just launched today. So go to the website, check it out, lots of improvements, and if always, kind and constructive comments to Bill will be helpful. Thank you. And I want to thank, of course, Ron and his team, Eddie and Tommy, for all the work they do. Be sure to thank them. You know, Ron's always exposing me to new culinary delights, such as pizza and little Italian sandwiches I never had when I was growing up, nor should I have now. But they're really wonderful, and he does a beautiful job. Him and Eddie and Tommy really are here all the time, and I really appreciate it. And new to us since December this year is Yvette McDonald. And Yvette has done an amazing job. Amazing. in a job title that had such breadth you could have driven 5 buses through it. I mean, it was like Congregational Life Coordinator. What the hell does that mean? She has figured it out. She's doing it. We've got a caring ministries is growing around us. And you'll hear more and more about these lay chaplains as time goes by. But we're doing other things like finding rides for folks and making sure people are cared for. We get calls all the time from people in the community that need assistance. And with me, it was a little bit hit and miss as whether or not I could deal with all of that. And she's taken that on, and she sort of vets the folks, and we make sure that people who really need help are getting the help. So thank you, Yvette. It's just been fabulous. And I am very happy to announce that she is now an official candidate for the Unitarian Universalist ministry. It's no small thing to get the UUA to bend, but you got the UUA to bend. And she has 2 master's degrees, right? One of them from one of our seminaries in social change. And they are going to work on an equivalency towards the divinity degree. And her internship site will be here. In addition to some outside preaching in other places, you'll see her more and more in the pulpit here, more and more in other places. You're putting together a team internship committee from folks in the region. We're thrilled this is working out the way it is. And because of that, we felt that it was okay to use some of the Greeley Fund for internship money that the Greeleys put aside when they left here to augment her compensation for this next year, since it will be a learning year. And we're very thankful to the Greeley family for all they've been able to do there. I think that will be my report. I just want you to know that Francis and I couldn't be happier. We pinch ourselves all the time and go, wow, how did we end up here? You are amazing people. You are doing amazing work, and it's an honor to serve you as your senior developmental minister. Thank you.
Thank you, Reb John. So we will now proceed to our second order of business, which is the presentation of the trustees' report by Barbara Colton, the trustees' president. Barbara will be available after the meeting if you have questions about the trustees' report.
Well, John said it all. I mean, what's left? I mean, it's been a fabulous year. Speaking on behalf of all of the board, it's been busy. The energy, the growth, it's very inspiring. So that all comes from all of you. So thank you. Thank you for all the ways that you show up and show up for one another. John mentioned the annual report that came out. This is the second year that we've done this annual report. It feels good to actually summarize all the things, many things, maybe not all, but many of the things that we do here. If you haven't taken a look at it, please do. It's only 55 pages. The photos are gorgeous, some of which you're seeing up on the screen. And I'd like to take a moment, Bill D'Agostino, but also 2 of our board members, Susan Tekau and Carrie Nielsen, worked with all of you to pull all the knowledge about all the things that everybody's been doing to put together this report. So I want to thank them for all their hard work. I'm just going to highlight a few of the things that are sort of buried and on the top of the annual report, just to really point out some of the major developments of this year. First, as John mentioned, he's talked about shared ministry often. We said yes to shared ministry on the board. That was the first step. Not just as an idea, but as a way of being church. Last year, we planted the seeds. This year, we lived into it. When lay leaders and staff work side by side, something powerful happens. Connections deepen, trust builds, and ministry becomes something we all carry together. We also welcomed, as we can see during Sunday service, many new families, friends, and visitors. It's one of the most joyful signs of growth, isn't it? Every new face is a reminder that our message of welcome, justice, and meaningful connection is needed more than ever. We aligned our caring ministry and our social justice work this year to be more focused, to be more intentional, and more deeply grounded in our values. Our caring ministry, which Yvette McConnell will expand and help us understand all that she has planned, is reaching across the full span of life, from young families to longtime members and beyond our walls. We're extending care into the wider community, and we're exploring new ways to create connections and be a compassionate presence. In social justice, we made a significant shift this year. Rather than trying to be everywhere at once, the mile-wide approach, 3 times, I got it. We've narrowed our focus to 2 core areas to deepen our impact: environmental justice and housing insecurity. We all know the importance of home, and we view MLUC as our second home. So this is a really foundational and important area, and we know it is of critical need here in the US and around the world. This fall, we'll be leaning into the housing insecurity as our primary justice focus, engaging in learning, advocacy, and hands-on action. And if Lloyd, are you here? Lloyd is going to lead, along with Bob Batt and Betsy and Amy Kokas, will be leading our housing insecurity program as a multi-month initiative where we can go deep and really understand and engage in the learning, advocacy, and hands-on action. We also strengthened our financial foundation, one of the important responsibilities of a board of trustees. That foundation to support our day-to-day operations and for the long term. Thanks to the generosity of all of you, our annual fund pledge drive, as John mentioned earlier, was a success this year, and we now have pledges totaling $725,000. We're just about to move forward. We know more pledges are coming in, so that $750,000 goal is close. So if you have not pledged yet, this is the time. We'll happily take your pledges. I want to underscore the level of effort that it takes to run an annual fund drive. There is a lot of work. It has generally taken a whole year to plan it and run it, and we run it every spring. And I want to highlight and thank our fearless leader this year on the Stewardship Pledge Drive, Dana Wiley. And along with team members Michael Carpenter, Bob Batt, Carolyn Yeager, and some of us hardworking folks on the board have really helped make that possible, but only because you all have given and really stepped forward. And as John mentioned, opens opportunities for us to do the things that we're doing, which is hiring the staff that allows us to reach out and do the work that calls us in our faith. We also received significant contributions to our Endowment and Innovation Fund this year. We received over $100,000 for our Innovation Fund and more than $400,000 towards our endowment this year from bequests. These are important steps as we plan for responsible growth and a sustainable future for our church. So those are the major highlights I wanted to share with you today. The report, there's so much more in it. There's so much that has happened, from amazing music, amazing art, building renovations, special sessions, working and supporting our youth, our trans youth, and more. All of this has been made possible by the many hands that step forward to lead and volunteer. None of this would happen without our dedicated staff, and John has mentioned each of you individually. I'm just going to say to each of you, thank you for guiding and supporting us with creativity and thoughtfulness and inspiration. We deeply appreciate all that you do for our church. And most importantly, to Reverend John, thank you for your wisdom, your steadfast presence, for unbelievable sermons that speak to our lives, stir our spirits, nurture our souls, and help us to move forward. As a board member and as president of the board, I will tell you it has been a joy working with John. His approach and collaboration, his openness, his honesty, his trust in the board, in us as individuals, has really just opened up the possibilities for the board to be more engaged, to be better leaders, and to help guide this church. So it is with profound thanks that I want to extend to John. Now, to my fellow board members, thank you. Thank you for your care, the insightful questions, and more insightful questions, and more questions. And the wonderful spirit of collaboration and honesty, and a sense of authenticity, and sense that you can just share your thoughts in an open way, and we can disagree with politeness and with respect, and continue on and make decisions that are important for the church. Thank you for the true collaboration that is behind the work that we do. I want to recognize the elected leaders who are completing their term this June, I should say. From the board, Nancy McDowell and Carol Hillman. Where is Carol? Okay. Nancy's here, Carol. Okay. Thank you for your dedication to this community, for keeping the missions front and center, and for sharing this purposeful, sometimes surprising adventure of board service. And the rest will be kept in silence, and as they say, what goes on the road stays on the road. From the nominating committee, John Heller and Nina Seltzer. Thank you for helping guide the future by identifying strong new leaders for our church. And finally, our moderator, Gail Burgess, who has served on and off as moderator for many years. Thank you for your leadership, deep commitment to this community, and I have to say thank you for your amazing chocolate cakes. As we look to the future, we want to deepen our commitment to be an inclusive community and engage more intentionally with the communities around us, creating a culture of welcome for people of all gender identities, abilities, ages, races, and backgrounds, building partnerships with local organizations to help address environmental needs, housing needs, and others, expanding our social action and educational efforts, both inside our congregation and outside in the world, and above all, listening. Listening deeply to our neighbors and responding with compassion, courage, and humility. Whether you've been here for decades or just found us this year, you are part of the journey of this transformation of our church. Let's keep building this next chapter together. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. It was inspirational. We'll now proceed to our next order of business, which is the presentation of MLUC's budget for the fiscal year 2026, which for those of you like me that are not fiscally oriented is July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. The current treasurer, Marlise Singh, will present the budget. A copy of the budget has been provided to all members through email, and copies are available if anyone needs one for handout now. After her review, there'll be an opportunity, there's one back, there'll be an opportunity for questions to Marlise and Barbara.
Okay, first slide, please. Okay. Good morning. My name is Marlise Singh, and I am the treasurer of MLUC. And I'm sorry to say, but some of my opening remarks will repeat stuff that Reverend John and Barbara already said, but I think it's all worth repeating. Let's talk about the proposed budget for the coming church year. I want to start right where I left off when I presented this year's budget a year ago. At the time, we were planning to hire a congregational life coordinator and a communications manager, and we were very fortunate to find excellent candidates to fill these positions. And we have a staff now that is competent, creative, and caring. This is your cue to... Of course, we always need to make some adjustments because we are anticipating greater needs as we grow. And as such, we are planning to add more hours to the positions of the Congregational Life Coordinator and the Youth Ministry Coordinator. We will also increase the hours of the Media Services Manager and add a part-time media engineer to support the team at the media desk. Overall, the budget for personnel is $855,000 next year. That's a 10% increase over this year. It accounts for about 3/4 of our total budget, as it usually does. The salaries in the budget include a cost of living adjustment of 3% for all existing staff, and all of the positions follow the UUA's fair compensation guidelines. Next slide, please. Next, we have ministry expenses that are in addition to staffing. The budget includes small increases for the music program, faith development, and the social justice program. This will allow us to continue as we have been doing it in the past with the Sunday morning music with all the choirs, other music events, faith development and OWL programs for all ages, our work with Family Promise, offering outreach, and our growing range of social justice programs. The main difference in spending is for the caring and community ministries. Caring will have an $8,000 budget to support pastoral care and to develop new programs of creative engagement and connection in the greater community. And in terms of community, we are renewing our commitment to pay our fair share contribution to the UUA with a payment of $56,550 to their annual fund. Next slide. Our budget for administration is $36,900. And I just want to highlight two of the areas in administration that are spending that help us stay up to date. One is technology. As I was putting together my remarks, I noticed that we are using a growing portion of our administrative budget for technology, for our computer network and media services, and online software subscriptions like Microsoft Office, Zoom, Breeze, QuickBooks. There's a very long list. All of this technology allows us to do our very best in terms of community outreach, efficiency, accuracy, and quick turnaround. And in the area of leadership and planning, the budget includes $1,400 for security, specifically for professional de-escalation training for church leaders and staff, as part of our plans to enhance security and help maintain our safe and welcoming environment. Next slide. And now we come to the overall figures in the budget. This is the slide with lots of numbers on it. Total expenses of close to $1.2 million are a 12% increase over the current year's expenses. And we have a matching increase of 11%. Well, at the time I was writing this, it was 11% in total pledge revenue. Our fundraising efforts this spring really gained momentum when we introduced a matching gift challenge. We have additional sources of revenue that are not listed there: donations, including the Sunday offering, rental income, and the auction. We are projecting those to be about $240,000, just the same as this year. We are also planning to use a $95,000 withdrawal from the General Endowment Fund. That looks like a big number, but that's just the same 5% of the average value over the last 3 years that we have always used for withdrawals. And it is so big because the total value of the General Endowment Fund right now is $2.7 million. I just want to let that number sink in. The endowment has been managed by 1919 Investment Council since the fall. The $95,000 is a portion of the income that the fund has earned so far this year. The last type of revenue I am highlighting on this slide is $61,253 from the Employee Retention Tax Credit awarded to MLUC by the IRS this year. This is, I think I talked to you about this at the mid-year meeting. It's a refund of Social Security taxes granted to nonprofit organizations that experienced a drop in revenue during the COVID pandemic. We had applied for about $130,000, and so far we have received $99,000. And of that, we decided to apply $38,000 to this current fiscal year so that we can reduce the budget that the deficit that we had planned for. And it leaves us with $61,000 that we can defer as revenue and use as money in the next fiscal year. And that leads us to the bottom line, a deficit of $29,000. And as I just mentioned, as of now, we have not received the final $30,000 of the Employee Retention Tax Credit that we had applied for. It is entirely possible that this $30,000 will still come. And if it did, it would just very neatly cover that deficit. We have a plan B. Plan B is to fund the deficit as an investment from our cash reserves. We haven't used as much of the cash reserves as we had planned over the last 2 years. So we still have enough cash in our operating cash accounts, and the balances of those cash reserves will remain at 3 times our monthly expense. So this target level is met, and if we can follow through on our pledges, we will be in good shape going forward. And I'm ready for questions. Yes?
You were saying, so in these numbers, the pledge revenue was the 7.
Please use the microphone.
Oh, yeah.
Jay, can I get this microphone? Am I on? For those people who are going to pass the microphone around, 2 things quickly is to hold the microphone horizontally and in front of you. What I never realized is that's much more important for the people who are viewing than for us in the room.
Marley, I was, for these numbers, you had the pledge revenue at 715,000, but you said, where are we currently, 725? John?
Microphone. Usually what we do in the budget, yes, I mean, the pledges we have received are beyond that and growing, but usually what we do in the budget, we put in a number that is somewhat discounted and keep that number, because we want to be conservative with our estimate of what revenues we have coming in, and there are situations where we will not collect the full pledge. You know, people move to California or stuff happens. So this is a discounted figure of pledges that we feel honestly that we might be able to collect on. Now I'm disappointed. At least one more question. Yes, Sarah, you were telling me you had so many questions.
I think I have to give you the hook here. Thank you very much. I will now entertain a motion to approve MLUC's budget for the fiscal year 2026 as presented. Wait, we have a plant in the audience. Isara, can you read the motion, please?
Hey, how you doing? I move that Mainline Unitarian Church's budget for fiscal year 2026 as presented be approved.
Is there a second? Second. Yes, okay. So in preparation for our vote, I will review our voting logistics. We've given each member a green card. Everybody have their green cards? Yeah? Okay. Under MLUC's bylaws, Article 4, Section 7, only members of 30 days or more prior to the annual meeting should vote. I will ask you to hold up your right hand with your cards, either aye or nay, and I will declare the result based on what I can see, unless it's too close to call, in which case we are prepared to count. So it is moved and seconded that MLUC's budget for fiscal year 2026 as presented be approved. All those in favor, please raise your card aye. It's a lot of green cards. Please put them down. All those opposed, please raise your card nay. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. And MLUC's budget for fiscal year 2026 is approved. We now have our final order of business, which is the nominating committee's review by its, well, I believe, is Betsy, are you doing it? Betsy Betsy Plume, the incoming chair of the nominating committee, will present the nominating committee's review.
Thank you, Gail. I'm standing in for John Heller, and I'd like to extend thanks to him and to Nina Seltzer, who led us this year through a very efficient process that kept us on time, on track, and on schedule, and they did a great job. It was a pleasure to be on the committee, and so we owe them a debt of thanks. John, even though he's not here, and Nina, I'd like to give them a round of applause. Another thank you to Rick Jurors, who wasn't expecting this, but Rick, before he left, he headed the committee last year. He set up a Google Doc base with all of our process documents and our tools, and it just made the whole process so much easier to carry out. So thank you, Rick. And many thanks to those of you who agreed to serve on the Board of Trustees and the nominating committee. The nominees for the Board of Trustees are Kathy Cordes and Tracy Simpson. If Kathy's here, I haven't seen Tracy. All of you, I'm sure, are familiar with Tracy because she is up here so often. For nominating committee, the nominees are Tina Adams, Kristen McDivitt, and Nancy McDowell, and I know Nancy's here, and Krista I saw earlier, okay, and Tina, okay, we know Tina. And our nominee for moderator is Roderick Wolfson, who is not able to be here today.
I just want to point out how on schedule we are right now. Yeah, okay, so we are now going to, I will entertain a motion to approve the election slate as just outlined.
I move that the election slate be elected for the nominated. I move that the election slate be elected for the nominated positions and terms.
The motion is that the election slate be elected for their nominated positions and terms, and to reiterate, there is a slate of 6 candidates, Kathy Cordes and Tracy Simpson for the 2 trustees position for the 3-year term ending in 2028, Tina Adams and Nancy McDowell for the 2 nominating committee positions for the 2-year term ending in 2027, Krista McDevitt for the nominating committee position for the 1-year term ending in 2026, and Roderick Wilson for the position of moderator for the 3-year term ending in 2028. Those in favor of electing the election slate of 6 candidates to their nominated positions and terms, please hold up your right hand with your cards aye. Thank you. Please put them down. Those opposed, please hold your right hand with your cards no. Yes.
Nancy? 3-year term.
It's a 3-year term, didn't it? 3-year term.
Oh, well, it sounded like 2.
Just to be clarified, I did say that you had a 3-year term for the nominating committee for Nancy McDowell and Tina Adams. Did I say 2? Oh, sorry. That's not good. All right, so do we have to start? I don't think we do, right? Are we all in agreement that the election slate as outlined is approved? Okay. So the ayes have it. Congratulations to everyone, and what a wonderful way to end our annual meeting, 2 unanimous votes. Thanks to all our presenters and to all of you for your attendance and participation. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting? Yes. Second? So without objection, go in peace and enjoy this beautiful day. Thanks to all.
like mine.